What's up, guys? Welcome back to Build a Bronco. Today we have a short but insightful episode for you. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Build a Bronco. Today we have a short but insightful episode for you guys. Now, I know we didn't have a video last week. That's due to scheduling issues because we are recording during school hours. I also want to say I'm watching another podcast called To Be a Bronco. You guessed it, I want you guys, the Broncos, to come on. We can have a one-on-one conversation, or you could bring your friend. We'll have fun and deep conversations together. Hopefully it'll be an experience you guys will remember. Now that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Let me know any other teachers you want to see on. I hope you guys have a great day, Broncos. Now you decide to sit up. Well, we had technical issues.
Happens.
How was your day?
So far, so good. Charlie Brown, our production's coming up. I just got the poster sent to print. We're making programs. Rehearsals are happening. Costumes and sets are being made.
Yeah.
We're kind of like full steam ahead on that project right now. So that's a lot of my day.
Okay. How was your pathway to becoming a teacher here at Banning High?
Oh, like what was that like?
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't always a teacher. I started as an actor for like about 10, 15 years, something in there. Mm-hmm. I went to college for theater, graduated, and then started working for the East Group Talent Agency. So they were my representation. So they would send me to 5 or 6 auditions a day. I would do that. And then, in the day I would do that. At night I'd bartend and do different, projects and things. Yeah. Did a lot of acting and a lot of lower budget independent films, a lot of theater. A lot of stage work, mostly stage work. Then eventually I became the technical director for a huge playhouse out towards LA. And then I did that for a couple years, switched to managing it. And then one day when I was managing it, the local high school came up to this theater and they asked me, hey, we really need someone to teach technical theater, right? We really need it and we can't find anybody. Can you do it? And I said, like, well, maybe I'll keep up classes, but I don't have a credential. Yeah. And they said, well, what you could do is you have so many years in the industry, you can come start teaching, and then while you're teaching, take these classes, and you can get your credential while you're doing it. And I was like, oh, okay. Fell in love with doing it, loved it. So went back, got my single subject in English, so I could teach acting and theater and all that. Mm-hmm. And here I am. All right. So this is actually like my 8th or 9th career, I would say.
Dang.
I know. I know.
And what would you say had been your favorite career you've had so far?
Teaching is definitely probably the best, right? Definitely, probably. Acting was great. A lot of adventures, a lot of traveling, a lot of doing different things, meeting new people. Mm-hmm. No 2 days were the same. Theater managing was fun because I got to meet some really important people that would come through the theater world and, things like that. But, man, you feel like you're making a difference when you're a teacher, right? You show up today, you feel like I'm making the future a better place. Yeah. If I can teach some students to carry on the profession, right? Like paying it forward. Because I had great teachers that helped me, right? So if I can help you guys move up, I like doing that,
Yeah, you're building a Bronco.
Yeah, I'd love to build a Bronco. That's the goal.
How would you say the Broncos have been here?
Oh, they're great. I've taught at a couple schools. I taught at Northview High School out towards LA. I taught East San Gabriel Valley ROP. I taught Ayala High School. So I taught a number of places. But Banning High School students, honestly, are the most respectful, down to earth, like chillest students that I've ever had. Honestly, I wouldn't trade them for the world. It's one of the reasons I stay here, right? Is because I've seen the other students, right? These ones are really cool. So these are my people.
That you feel like they are more mature.
Yeah,
they act like adults more?
Yeah. They have some experiences under their belt. They're really good in any kind of problem situation or anything like that. They know how to handle themselves. They're the most adult students that I've run into.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably show them that clip.
That one, yeah. No, I stand behind it. Go ahead. I mean it when I say it.
What kind of challenges do you face trying to get them to understand their characters in a role and get over stage fright?
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, stage fright. I don't think you ever really get over stage fright. If you look at any even famous actors today,
Yeah.
before performances and stuff like that, they're still jittery, they're still twitchy and all that kind of stuff. Like Johnny Depp, he never watches his own work.
Really?
Yeah, no, and he doesn't because he can't stand it. So if you ask him how pirates looked, he don't know because he's never seen it. Even here, we have students that have been in 8 or 9 productions, right, in front of the whole school, in front of crowds of thousands of students and
Yeah.
parents. They still are nervous backstage. They're still pacing and they're still getting excited. I think you have to get used to that, and you have to kind of learn to love it.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's that adrenaline rush, jumping out of a plane, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, so it never really goes away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like your brain wants to stop you from doing this, but as soon as you start doing it, it's like, hey, this was actually fun. We want
Yeah,
to keep doing this
yeah,
now.
right. I mean, why do you get on roller coasters when you know they're
Yeah.
dangerous, right? It's just something that it's just way we're wired,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, and getting someone into character is a good question. There's a lot of methods, and every situation requires a different method.
Mm-hmm.
But the one I like the most, the one I used to use when I was an actor, is there's method acting, right? Which
Okay.
method acting is you have to make it real to you. You have to really believe it's happening.
Yeah.
And if you believe it, the audience will believe it when they look at you, right? Because it's real to
Okay.
you, right? It's not making it up.
It's authentic.
It's authentic because you think it's real. That's a little intense, and it's caused damage to certain actors over time.
Oh,
So
geez.
I do a little watered down version of that, right?
Yeah.
It's that principle, but you don't have to go to that extreme. It's called conscious acting. That's the term for it.
Yeah.
That's the number one I teach. But like we're doing a puppet show right now. That's the next show coming up, right? For the assembly shows.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how much you can method act in puppets.
Yeah.
So that's a whole different technique, right? So it just depends on the project.
What would make method acting extreme?
Oh, so if it has to be real to you, right? That's
Yeah.
okay if you're playing like a love story with you're doing 50 First Dates or something like that,
Yeah.
right? That's not bad. But when you start getting into the serious issues, right? Like if you're doing, I don't know, if you're playing a drug dealer on a TV show, I don't really want you to go deal drugs.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So we'd have to find something that's way more safe for you to
Yeah.
experience, right? And heartache and all these different things. Like I don't need you to go that far, but.
Yeah.
So that's why. So if you're a pure method, it's got to be real to you. You got to really
Yeah.
experience those things, and that can,
It's like you change your whole lifestyle for the role.
yeah, Christian Bale's the most famous one for that.
Yeah.
That's why he does those physical transformations so crazy for these
Yeah.
roles and things like that, and really gets into characters,
It's
stuff
like
like that.
the movie studios have some kind of secret to workouts.
Oh yeah. I've seen those clips and things like that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy
Like
crazy
in,
stuff.
I mean, 2 months, if anything, they completely change their entire build.
Sure. But you've seen crazy art, right? Artists.
Yeah.
There's a spectrum, right? How far can artists go on that list, right?
Yeah. What kind of challenges do you face that people may not realize during productions?
Challenges that I face. Well, one of them is I got to know when to let go as a director, right?
Okay.
So I'm in the theater, but I try not to watch opening night shows because I'm too. Let me fix it. Let me just. And so at that point, the students have it. The students know the show. The stage manager is running the show. I don't have a job once the show starts, right? The director's not needed anymore.
Okay.
So it's important for me to get out of the way.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let me just, I can't.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's better for me to like stay in the lobby
Yeah.
and just keep myself from the thing,
Yeah.
So
It makes that job a little bit easier to let go knowing that they're more mature here.
yeah. The trust I have for the students here
Yeah.
is incredible. Right. I don't have to watch because I know they'll handle it.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm here in case there's an emergency, right?
Yeah.
But if something happens, if an actor forgets their lines or a set piece or costume rips,
Yeah.
I trust my stage managers, the technical theater students, and my actors to know what to do, to handle the situation, and to go on. And I've never had that anywhere else.
So you're basically turning them into the directors too.
Yeah, in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, we're building our replacements. Do you know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
So by the time they leave, they should be able to do kind of what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
we got one last serious question, then we'll get into some fun questions.
Okay, shoot.
All right. What is your definition of success?
Okay, so Churchill said, right,
Okay.
that success isn't final, failure's not fatal, but the courage to continue is what counts, right? And I think about that a lot, right? Because I see this happen all over the place, right? Someone will get like someone will create a project,
Yeah.
and they'll be like, "Oh, I did it," but then what? Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
Once you
yeah.
reach a goal, the goal's never done, right? You got to keep going.
Yeah.
And I've watched people that have failed and have crumbled, right? But what I respect most is when you get a setback, or those people that are never done, right?
Yeah.
Something bad happened, you keep going. Something good happened, you keep going, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the key to success, is to just keep hitting it over and over and over again,
Yeah.
right? And there's no secret to it. It's just perseverance.
You just keep going
You
with the goal.
just keep going. You'll get somewhere if you keep going.
Yeah.
But if you stop, that's where you are, you know? So
Yeah.
I've had a lot of setbacks in my life. Most people have. But I'm happy where I am because I kept picking myself up and keep going, right?
Yeah. Do you think that failure isn't just like becoming homeless or something like that? Failure can also be being stuck where you are and not trying to
yeah.
persevere into something more.
Sure. It's easy to stay where you are.
Yeah.
That's literally the definition of easy, because you're just standing there.
Yeah,
right.
'cause humans
Change
love
is hard.
comfort.
Yeah, and so a lot of people settle for good enough, and
Yeah.
I think that's a form of failure, right? And you have to just keep going.
Yeah. Well, on to some fun questions.
All right, silly questions. I'm ready.
All right. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Absolutely. I feel that's a match made in heaven.
Dang.
I'm a vegetarian.
Okay.
So mushroom pineapple pizza is like my go-to.
Okay. What kind of hobbies do you do outside of school?
I'm way too into something called Warhammer. It's a figure game where you buy these kits, you put these models together, you paint them, and then you there's like a board game kind of style movement thing for them.
What?
I'd be embarrassed to show you how many of those I have. It's, probably $50,000 to $60,000 worth of stuff.
Oh
in
my
that, in that
gosh.
hobby, in that dumb little hobby.
Yeah.
So, and I have a dog. Her name's Willow, and I do a lot of dog related things. Right, so dog
Okay.
parks, dog
Yeah.
walks, dog meet and greets,
Yeah.
like very dog parent stuff.
What's your favorite kind of like quirk that your dog does that you love?
So I have bought her way too many toys, like a ridiculous amount of
my
toys.
gosh.
So she's got in my place, she's got 3 beds, right?
What?
Yeah, I know. There's one in like the master bedroom on the floor. There's one in the living room, right? And one she's just decided to stack all these toys in, and so when I come home, she'll run it and she'll pick a different toy out of the pile to like that's her toy for the day.
Oh my
Right?
goodness.
Yeah, and so you would think it's a dog, it doesn't know.
Yeah.
But she sits there and she looks at all the toys in the pile, she knocks them down a little bit. She'll pull out one from like 2 Christmases ago and be like, I'm playing with this today. And she'll walk around with it.
Yeah.
It's adorable, right? And so I got probably 100 photos of her with the different toys in her mouth that she just chooses. Right? She
So-
had a giant Pickle Rick yesterday. That was a dog Pickle Rick toy that someone gave me and I put in the pile. She pulled that one out. Yeah.
So she has one bed for putting her toys in.
Yeah, that's just a toy bed.
And the other 2 does she actually use as
Yeah,
bed?
yeah. Like one's at the foot of my bed, one's in the living room, so depending on where I'm at,
Yeah.
is where she goes with it.
Must be nice to have that life because
Yeah,
my
yeah.
dog just takes my bed.
Oh yeah, it takes the whole thing
Yeah.
up there. Yeah.
I mean, Earl, my friend, definitely knows. He'll come to the house, takes the sweater off, so my dog's hair doesn't get on his sweater.
He knows.
Yeah.
What kind of dog you got?
I have a German Shepherd that's also a Husky.
She's a German Shepherd Husky too.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. What kind of hair color?
She's got a lot of black hair, and then she's
Okay.
got white around each eye, right, and kind of brown
okay.
legs. It's like a reverse raccoon mask looking thing. That's what she's got.
Yeah, mine's just pure white, and he has a black stripe on the top of him.
Oh, got a lot
it's
of those
just-
husky colors.
Yeah, it's just white hair everywhere, too.
Yeah, I love that dog breed, man.
Yeah.
Is your dog vocal?
My God, yeah. He's become way too
It's a
vocal
husky.
now.
It's a husky, man. They don't shut up.
I swear he has so much emotion in his eyebrows too.
Yeah.
One time he opened my door, stared at me. I stared at him. He walked away all the way to a couch that he could still see me. I'm staring at him like, dude, what? Why?
You know, I don't know if this is true or not, but I heard that dogs developed eyebrow control
Really?
for us.
For us.
To communicate with humans, right?
Did they see us using our eyes?
Yeah, and they you know, it's that mimicry thing, and then
Oh my God.
you know, selective breeding and stuff. The cuter the more expressive the eyes, the cuter they were, the more we bred
yeah.
that dog. So I heard, I can't verify if it's 100% true, that dogs' eyebrows are a human controlled evolutionary thing.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I think that was cool.
I mean, my dog probably more human than most dogs I've seen too.
I feel that.
Let's see. Okay, this is a would you rather question.
All right.
Would
Ready.
you rather have a theme song that plays every time you walk into a room, or have your own laugh track?
Oh, I tell so many jokes. I think laugh track because not all my jokes land, but you
yeah.
can do amazing things with laugh tracks. Do you know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
I think laugh track. I'd have to go laugh track. Problem with theme song is like depending on your mood, you wouldn't
gosh,
want
yeah.
it, right? Like I don't want to walk into a bad parent-teacher conference and have like the Happy Days theme song playing in the background, you know, as I walk in. So I'm gonna go laugh track.
Okay. I end up becoming my own laugh track when my friends don't laugh.
Ah, see, there you
Yeah.
go. There you go.
Then they
Problem
think it's
solving.
weird.
Just problem solving, man.
All right. Summer or winter?
Super winter for sure.
Really?
Yeah, man. You can always get warmer. But when it's 110 outside, what can you do, right? You
like-
gotta take off so many layers, right?
Yeah, you end up
can
becoming-
float around in a pool, like, and try to
Yeah.
cool down. But like, plus winter, you got like, besides the holidays, which are just better,
Yeah.
right? You got like the cocoa. You know, you can sit with the hot
Yeah.
cocoa. You can sit by the fire. You can. It's the end of the year, so you got
Oh
new
my gosh,
year,
yeah.
new life stuff coming up. I think anybody who picks summers is nuts. Honestly.
I would choose winter, but I spent like 7 years in Montana with
Did you?
horrible winter. So I'm like, well, yeah, it was fun.
I just saw a
but-
TikTok video today of a guy saying, "Oh, you think you like Montana? What you're seeing is the 2 months of summer of
Yeah, yeah.
Montana." You know,
The majority of the year there is just winter.
Yeah,
I think it's
cool.
like all the way until maybe April is when we start getting sunshine for
maybe I'm
summer.
just spoiled from California living.
Yeah. I mean, I lived in Montana. I came back here to California.
Yeah,
I immediately got used to the heat.
immediately.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I've been here for 36 years, give or take, and I'm still like, oh,
Yeah, I mean, it's insane. My mom would wait for us to go to the playground until it was 0 degrees.
really?
Yeah.
Wait to get warmed up to zero.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then the schools were always weird about the snow hills. It was
Maybe
like,
when
yeah,
I
you
said
can
maybe
go
when
on
I
them.
said summer people were crazy, maybe I was speaking from ignorance. I have to check my privilege.
yeah.
Like
It's a
California
certain
privilege.
amount of snow you get.
Yeah.
I mean, and sometimes you have hailstorms mixed with winter.
Yeah, I think I made a snowman like twice in my life. Like, you know, that I've
yeah.
seen.
The school would get so weird about us making snowmans too.
It snowed last year or 2 years ago for like a
Oh, yeah,
little
so it
bit,
was
like
too.
a light snow.
Yeah.
Kids were running out of the class and trying to like, oh look, and they were like catching the snow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, in Montana, you had to change your entire outfit for the day.
yeah. No, that's crazy.
And the janitors, they hated it because
Oh, yeah.
sometimes it'd be so cold outside. I was like, all right, everyone's gonna walk inside because they'd have us walking outside on the circle.
Do you have a
before
lot of
school
wildlife
started.
issues in Montana?
Well, I lived in Billings, Montana, which is the second biggest city in the state.
Oh, okay, so you had sort of an urban feel to where you're
Yeah.
at.
I mean, you could go out to places where there'd be wildlife.
Yeah. You could see them. You could visit them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there.
But most of the time, it was a city-like area, and nobody was like poor or rich. Everyone had kind of like the same amount of money around, so
Oh, okay.
it was like the same amount of houses, and it was just pretty fun
What's the
area.
difference between like Californians and Montana people? Like, what do you think? Like, if you had to classify
Well,
them,
I mean, the first thing I noticed,
Yeah.
everyone seems shorter over here.
are they really?
Yes.
You grow them taller in Montana, huh?
I mean, maybe you gotta adapt to the cold in some way.
I dated a girl from Wyoming once, and she said that Californians always smile, but they never mean like they're not friendlier.
Yeah.
they smile more, and so people think they are. But is that something you noticed? Does Californians smile more than other places?
I might.
Yeah?
I think I'm starting to realize that now.
Yeah, that's what she said, and that stuck with me. Like that was years ago, right? Years ago.
Yeah.
But I still think about that. Like, am I fake smiling all the time? Right? Like, or is that
Yeah.
just like when I'm Program to do?
I mean, a lot of disasters end up happening over in California.
Yeah. Yes.
Most recently, the fire. So I would understand why after so many events, you end up smiling, but you're like, I'm just doing it for fun.
Yeah, I live out that way, about an hour and a half away from Banning.
Really?
Yeah. And so as I drove home during those fires, like the whole sky was orange. It looked like apocalyptic, right?
Yeah.
Like I was driving through a war zone because, there was just ash and smoke and everything. You could see the fires from my house, like up on the hills. Yeah, and they were just burning over. So.
I was surprised we didn't end up getting like all the ash blown towards this way. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, that's what happens.
Yeah. It was those 80-mile-hour winds, man. Those were nuts.
Oh, yeah.
The Santa Anas.
I mean, we got crazy wind here too sometimes, but literally every time I choose a recording day, something's wrong with the weather.
It's the weather days that I do, right?
Yeah, it was insanely windy the other times, and this time it was raining.
Oh,
and the weather said it was going to be sunny.
And we have sunny days like 80% of the time. So
Yeah.
that's funny that every time you pick it, you stepped on a black cat or something.
Yeah, I mean, literally, I didn't have an episode for last week, and then I decided, all right, this week, and then it decides to do something
On the
with the
exact
weather.
day. Oh, I'm glad the fire alarm didn't go off while we were doing that.
I
It
know,
just went off
right?
right before we started filming. Yeah.
It was weird too. We were standing at the door, and they finally turned it off, and there was one still going off. Just one on
thing.
this building.
On this building?
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
I don't even know
That's
how long
beyond
it
me.
took.
I don't know how that technology works. It's too
Yeah, I'm
crazy.
like, who's in charge of this?
Yeah.
All right. Breakfast for dinner, or dinner for breakfast?
Oh, breakfast for dinner for sure. Nothing's better than breakfast food, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, like I don't mean to get weird about it, but like you can have pancakes anytime, eggs, steak and eggs and stuff like that, But not steak, but eggs and pancakes and stuff like that. I'm not having spaghetti for breakfast. Like I went to college, I lived that life where cold pizza was the morning breakfast and stuff. I'm past that, I'm in my my breakfast phase, my breakfast era.
Yeah.
I'm not my good eating era.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at right now. So
Do you have brunches?
I've done brunch once or twice on the weekends. My current girlfriend, she works for Disney, right? She does the fireworks shows for
Disneyland?
every night, and so she does late nights, and I work days here. So and she works weekends. So brunch is something we usually do on the weekends before she goes to do the work at Disney.
Oh, okay.
So every week I get brunch.
Really? Mm-hmm. What's the biggest difference doing brunch
Brunch and
between
that?
breakfast and lunch?
Portions are very different, right? Brunch is usually smaller. Because you have lunch coming up and it's in between. But it's a time thing. It's kind of a vibe difference, Breakfast usually is like a meal you're trying to get. Brunch is more of an experience, I think.
I think that breakfast has changed over the course of history
sure.
because, ever since the I'm blanking on the word. The Industrial Revolution. Once we started getting all these machines, people were getting these jobs, but they had to become so much earlier at the time they had to get there.
Yeah.
And before, you would just enjoy breakfast in the early time.
Yeah. Well, before McDonald's, breakfast, at all meals, like the minimum was like 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't go grab something and go. Like, it was time to eat. And you go to McDonald's, they cook you a burger and stuff like that, or you go wherever, and McDonald's was the one that made it super fast in the beginning. If you watch like the fast food industry and like that kind of growth, our life is a hustle now.
Yeah. You would think it would make us less stressed.
Well, I kind of think that's why anxiety gets higher and higher. If you noticed, like so many more people have anxiety issues.
Yeah.
I think it's because we pack so much into 24 hours.
Jeez, yeah.
Right?
You're trying to do so much.
Yeah, I'm lucky if I get 6 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Every night because I'm still doing things.
All right. Well, I had some other questions, but we only have 5 minutes left.
No, I talked too much. I'm sorry.
It's fine. We had technical issues at first anyways. All right. Then I'll just ask the final question that we have here that every
Shoot.
teacher is going to ask.
Okay. All right.
Or answer.
All right. I'm ready.
What does it mean to you to build a Bronco?
To build a Bronco. Okay. So for me, when the students leave here, they're getting off the path that they have been on since they were 5 years old. Since you were 5, there has been adults that have guided you and held your hand and steered you on the path to becoming an adult, right?
Yeah.
You it's really hard to mess that path up because an adult will come and push you back onto the path.
Yeah.
But after you graduate, that path is gone, and you have to blaze your own trail. And not everybody handles that well, right?
Yeah.
If you want a good job, so does everybody else, right? So you have to be the best person in the room. If you're the second best person in the room, that's not good enough.
Yeah.
Because the first person, it's one job. The first best will take it, right? So I need to make you a fighter, and I need to make you strong, so that you are the one, right?
Yeah.
That gets that job. So building a Bronco for me, I'm like your workout trainer, right? That's how I see it, right?
Yeah.
I need to pump you up so that when your fight comes and you are ready, right? It doesn't get better than where you're at. So for me, building a Bronco literally means building you, right? To make you the best you can be for your fighting chance.
Yeah.
So that's what I see it as.
That's very similar to Coach Cece when he said that I can hold your hand for 4 years, but after that, it's up to you to do the self-discipline.
CC's a smart man, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's what he's saying, right? That was something that kind of shocked me, right? I went to high school, and I even went to college, and I got out, and I looked around. I'm like, okay, what do I do now?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Do something. Go make it, right? And then I was like, oh no, and there was some bumps and errors, but I found my way. I want you to understand that that's what happens, right? Be ready, be strong, be tough, right?
Well, most kids feel like the adult world, they got it all figured out. There's certain pathways you want to go. They got a certain path for you. But you come out and, like, everyone doesn't know what they're doing.
Justin Bieber got super rich making YouTube videos.
Yeah.
I started that, man. Before that, so people ask me, how do you become an actor? There's no right or wrong way to do it, right? Get out there, blaze a trail, find a way, right? Network.
But
Go
it's
to
also
auditions.
like you have to have the passion for what you want to go for.
You got to have passion. You have to have drive. You can't quit. That's that success thing, right? You got to keep marching forward, right? Keep cracking at it until you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like when you said second place isn't enough, second place is good enough to some people.
Oh, yeah.
But then that's that whole thing of like that could be another form of failure.
That's another form of failure. There's nothing wrong with second place, really, in like a lot of life.
Yeah.
But there's one job, right? You want to be the CEO of this company? They only got one.
Yeah.
Right? So second best is the same as fifth.
Yeah.
And that's a sad way of looking at it, but that's the way the world is.
Yeah. Well, I liked your answer to that question.
No, I'm glad.
And I believe that's the end of this episode because we only have like 3 minutes left.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming on.
My pleasure.
All right. See you next time on the 5th episode. And I guess that's it. All right. Thank you.
My pleasure, man. Oh. Yeah. Cool.